There we go, there we go, there we go, and oh, not good, not good. Tried to really mitigate a lot of that. Oh gosh, oh wow. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Wreckfest. That's right, today we are continuing to dive on into our career. It's a long-running series. We're taking a look at the World Masters. Now, we've done a few events where 300 out of the 3,600 needed to complete them, and as you can see there, just on the right-hand side, there's a few that are still locked, but that's all right. That's all part of the adventure. Now, today and probably for the next episode, we're going to be diving into one of those words that are out there. We're going to be taking a look at the Tournament of Destruction. This is going to be a little bit of work. Now, this is going to be A-class, American, European, Asian cars. It's all right. We've already got one kind of picked out. We're going to be taking a look at the Speed Demon. It's a vehicle that I think is going to be appropriate for full-on, proper, top-tier World Masters banger-style racing where everything is on the table. Follow-ons, drive-thrus, whatever it may be. Now, what do we have available here for this?
Get ready for car crunching, neck wrenching, fender bending devastation as 24 finest drivers battle it out for demolition racing domination on tracks designed for ultimate destruction on most crash-tastic tracks there are.
Oh man, I'm not really sure the grammar checks out, but hey, it is what it is. Now we're going to take a look here at this first race. Not really what I would expect is kind of the most crash-tastic races, but it is what it is, and it's doing okay. We've got an A320 rated car here. Now we're in good company here. Now again, there are some cars that are higher rated than us. There are cars that are lower than rated than us. But at the end of the day, anything that's an A-class car can more or less beat another A-class car depending on the track, the configuration, all the races that are going on. And those that are long time viewers of this series, you've known I made that point a few times in a row, and it's all right. You can see over here on the right-hand side, we have our Speed Demon. That's right, this is all kitted out with the finest technology available, roll cages, all the extra weight is stripped. We've got huge mud digger tires in the back and pretty box standard racers in the front. And of course, a really hectic, amazing looking paint scheme. I like it. I like it a lot. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really excited about that. But of course, our options are also on intense. We're not racing on realistic just because at this sort of tier, well, it's a 12-lap race. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a 12-lap race. There is a good chance that we might need to even back the damage and the actual intensity back from intense. We went from realistic to intense just because we weren't necessarily completing races with a lot of, I don't really say combatants, but other racers on the track. They tended to take themselves out a little bit. Intense has helped with that so far when we've gone from three laps all the way up to 6. But now we are dealing with 12 laps. It's going to be a little bit of an adventure, so we're going to dive on in. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how this goes. Fingers crossed it goes well, and if we have to adjust it, we will, because at the end of the day, we want to have fun. We want to have some chaos, but we also don't want to be bored. Myself, you the viewers, you amazing ladies and gents and people that are out there. So we're just going to see how this goes. Now here again for the event, it's 12 laps. That's a lot. Thankfully, it's a shorter track, not necessarily the end of the world, but this is going to be an 8-event series. Standings wise, we've taken a look at, and for difficulty for all of you amazing people that are out there, words are hard today. I'm so excited, and I'm also very, very exhausted and tired. For those of you that are playing at home, our settings are custom, automatic, half off, half, and expert. The AI difficulty is the most important part of this, and personally for me, traction control is as well, to get the back end of the car to step out, at least in the way that I would like to drive. Now our tune is mostly stiff, a little bit closer to the long setting here on the gear ratio. Again, our acceleration is at 10, our top speed is at 8.6. This car is maxed out in terms of things that we can install into it. Differentials, semi-locked, and of course rear brake balance kind of helps us turn as we go into the corners. So without further ado, we've already spent enough minutes diving into this. Let's get into the race. Rev it up, rev it up, rev it up. Watch those rear wheels spin. A little bit harder rubber on the back there for diggers. And you know what? We're not too worried about wrecking cars. We're not too worried about getting through all this, but we also do want to finish the race. Zap hack out there. We're just gonna let you do your thing. It's all right. We don't want to get up there and catch that wheel up there, because just like what happened to that Mini, you're gonna get wrecked hard. Now Wurzag, we have run into this individual before a few times. I think some series in the past. And we are just smoking these rear wheels, diving on in, and trying to get their car a little bit loose, pulling a Dale Earnhardt Jr. or a Dale Earnhardt Sr. back there, just a little tiny bit, depending on who and when and where and what race series you're taking a look at. But at the end of the day, a little bump and grind, get them to move out of the way and wiggle on up. We have a bit of work to do to catch Arcblade up here. This is a very, very strong car, and we are not necessarily making the best lines here. That's absolutely for sure. Now, of course, we are doing our best laps, but we are taking a very, very high line. And oh, there is some lap traffic. Definitely working in our favor. Whew, almost got tagged in there. Now we have finally caught up to Arcblade. The question is, can we get them loose? Can we get them taken out? Or can we use all this lap traffic to our advantage? We're feathering the throttle a little bit there. I don't want to spin out. I also want to make sure that we got the most traction going forward. And unfortunately, if we get someone on our left rear quarter panel and we're not too careful, they will spin us out. Oh, that's going to be painful. That's a little bit more painful than I wanted to run into there. Hit the brakes a little bit more. We are out of our line. And there's Arcblade coming up on the backside of us a little bit. That's not exciting. That is not what we want to see happening. And just like this is what I was a little bit afraid of. The track is starting to clutter as one little bit of a bottleneck leads to a second bottleneck, and more vehicles are just slowly getting taken out. And this is a pretty clean track. This is a pretty straight, clean track. Now here's Wurzig again. We were racing second for them. I think we just lapped them. And oh boy, there we go. Hit that brake, try to get that rear end turned back around. And T3 over there just wrecking us hard. Did we lose a wheel? I don't. Oh, we haven't. It's still attached, but the car is heavily damaged. We're back here in first again. 8 out of 12 laps. Now again, definitely, if this was unrealistic, we would only be one of maybe 2 cars left, especially with this number of laps here. But so far, while the cars are heavily damaged, it's still working out all right. We're still doing pretty darn good. We have Arcblade only 3 seconds left behind us there, and that's not too far. All it takes is for us to get a little bit out of the line here, a little bit out of our racing groove, as it were, and that would definitely be something that would be not ideal for sure. So we just got to keep an eye on it. There are some of these races up here in traditional banger style that just want to wreck us out of the race. They're not necessarily in a position to win, but they are in a position to get other cars off the track. And that's just something to consider, you know. Dewey, just get out of the way, man. Get out of the way. You're slowing us down. Arcblade is falling back. Looks like T-Ho is back there behind us. 5 seconds. All we have to do is finish this half of a lap and one more lap. And ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten our first win here in this 8-race series. Oh, gosh. Oh, that was a close one. Here we are on our last lap, just kind of sliding around here. I think we've picked an appropriate car. This is the Speed Demon, I'm pretty darn sure. And it's kitted out appropriately for the chaos and the crazy zany action that we got going on. And so if you can hear me over the squeal and din of those rear wheels, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. 16.699 here for our seconds on our lap. And we are the fastest lap here. Now, I will say this, for most of the competition, they're less than a second behind us, at least in the top 10, top 12, so to speak. So that speaks pretty darn good, because this is a track that if you've got the right balance, you can really abuse the AI on. And I'm not going to say we did, but we did a really good setup on this car, and it worked out rather well. Arcblade was hanging out there with us very, very well. In fact, they were faster than us early on, and they just got caught up with some traffic, and that, it is what it is. So there it is. We got a brush guard for the Bandit Ripper V8. That's pretty darn exciting. Pretty darn stoked about that. And that's a pretty good adventure right there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have Crash Canyon coming up. 12 laps. 12. Count them. 12 laps at Crash Canyon. We're going to see how this goes. I don't have high hopes. Is it going to be amazing? Yes. Is the best racing going to last the full 12 laps? Probably not. I think we'll get to about 8 or 9 laps before we see about half the field DNF'd. That's all right. We got the rear wheels for this. Our car looks pretty darn cool. Revving it up here. There we go, all the way forward. I love Yob's car over there. Just with the lights on there and stuff, it looks really, really good. We're taking a chance. We're going up here to the high side. Cars are going to get pushed up, but I want to keep my speed up and try. Oh, man, there's Zanuck. Oh, boy. I was going to try to get my speed up and just really kind of skirt around the outside. And we just got to be very, very careful we don't get out of these whoop-de-whoops, or we'll have what happened to Ripton back there. We'll get sideways, jumped up all over the place, and then we'll just get run over. And it's very, very easy to get in here and get all out of sorts, all sorts of backways, and you're gonna have your day ruined pretty heavily. Our hood's already flying up. We've made some contact over there. Dr. Danger Noodle, I love the name. I'm pretty sure we've run into them in some series before, using that little tiny Mini Cooper, so to speak. I believe it's called a Speedy here in this game, just trying to push us off the track. Now that is a very high accelerating, very nimble car. Unfortunately, it's also a very narrow wheelbase, and well, let's just say that's what happened. We got Lai over there, not really sure what is up with that other car that just went straight into the outside wall. Pretty sure. Oh, there goes Ripton. Oh, we've already got cars. We're on lap 2. There's already cars out of the race. We were talking about Ripton there in lap 1, getting out of the whoop-de-whoops and getting into that cross traffic. And as you can see, that just does not work out well, especially when you're getting all sideways. There's Arcblade. Oh boy. We managed to spin them out, got ourselves a bonus target there. They're definitely a strong car. We got to keep an eye on them. If they end up finishing relatively high, which they could do, they've got the car rating for it. The matter is just, is the AI that's assigned to that car going to be consistent enough to make this work? And I have some concerns that, they're not necessarily living up to their potential. But I will say this, it's something we have to keep an eye on, because that is definitely a strong car. Now, we're in a good position here. We're doing all right. The chaos is already happening. Oh boy. Tap that rear brake to get the rear brakes to grab and to pull the front end around as we go around the corner. There are so many wrecked cars down here. Now, Arcblade is 12 seconds behind us, 11 seconds, 10 seconds. And, yeah, and they're not too far away. So we just got to be careful here. We got to start focusing to be a bit more technical on what we're trying to do. Otherwise, we're going to get our car wrecked up here. Our left front suspension and wheels getting a little bit wobbly, a little bit loose. And again, we just got to be careful, be as technical as we can. Oh, we're getting pushed out of the way. I do not like that. Whew. Oh boy. All right. So there we go. We're doing all right. But with all these cars, I think there's probably less than 12 people that are not, or 12 racers that are not necessarily DNF. And we just got to keep our heads about ourselves, keep our wits about ourselves. Oh, well, we wrecked somebody. That's not really how I wanted that to work, because unfortunately, we're going to get caught up in all this chaos here. Now, our car, the hood is gone. Everything's crunched up a little bit. Their engine is definitely taking some medium damage. You can see Ken back there is, well, their engine's pretty heavily wrecked. Oh boy. Now, we're not necessarily racing these people for position, but they can definitely end our race if we're not careful. Now, we are only 6 laps through, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. At this point, we're not so much racing as we are just trying to survive and picking our way through. The AI is definitely not as dexterous as needed to really get through a lot of this stuff. I take that back. Mitchell up here might be. We'll see. They don't have much health left, though, and there's still a lot of laps to go. But one of the things they really have to keep in mind is when the track is cluttered like this, the AI just plows through it, and they definitely take a lot more damage. And that's not going to be very, very helpful. And Mitchell is just all over the place. I would not be surprised if... Oh, they're still up. They're still up. And that's kind of the difference, I got to say, between the realistic and the intense. So the intense, if you're doing the most of the imparting of the momentum, if basically you're doing most of the movement and you've got most of the mass, the damage to your own car is fairly reduced. Now, that being said, you still do a significant amount of damage to other vehicles around you. But on top of that, the environment also does significantly less damage to you and vice versa, which is very, very nice and helpful. Now, we have a second place back here. Lucky Man is getting pretty close. They were up there to less than 1.5 seconds. They're about 2 seconds back right now. I'm not really sure who Lucky Man is, or her. We don't know and what they're driving. But they are definitely giving us a run for our money. And there are only 3 vehicles left on the track, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, I'm not careful there. I'm going to take myself out of the race. Got to get some smart decisions here. Here we go. There goes Zapek up there, and here's Lucky Man. I don't even know what they're driving. I can't even tell anymore. That is a cool-looking car, though. It's doing all right. Now, we are racing for position here, and our car is not necessarily the best. It does like to step out on the back end. So we just got to keep the hammer down. And I got to be honest, we are not doing the best we can to really take this position and keep it. But you know what? Lucky Man just ended up letting us have it for the moment. We're just going to keep putting the laps in here. We're going to keep doing what we can do. These crossovers are always so dangerous because all it takes is for a car to get a little bit wide, bounce around just a little bit. If you're not paying attention, they will come straight across and just wreck your stuff hard. Especially if they're about half a lap off of your pace. They can come right through there just like that. And yeah, it's not great. Even if they're not anywhere near you, but they impact a wreck, they can move that wreck in a mysterious and unpredictable manner. And that can definitely come back and really ruin your night, which is not a good thing to do. But ladies and gentlemen, what is your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are you thinking for a racing series like this? Do you like it? Would you like to see me do a few other more challenges instead of necessarily these longer racing series, especially as they're getting higher and higher lap counts? I've been thinking about that, and we might try that here for an episode or two. But if you would really like me to focus on that, especially here in the World Masters series, please post in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on that. I really want to make this as entertaining for you as it is for me. And for me personally, I really like doing a lot of this stuff. I think it's all equally a lot of fun. But, you know, viewership doesn't necessarily always agree with that. And I have to respect that, right? Everyone has a specific amount of time. And watching individuals kind of turn laps without a lot of racing content per se, well, you know, I want to respect your time. I want to respect your interest in making sure that this is as fun for you as it is for me. Now, that being said, we are here. We're about ready to finish up this last lap, finish out this entire series here, go on to race number 3, which is pretty darn exciting. So if you'd like to see more content like this, if you want to see some more stuff as we eventually get done with the World Masters series, whether we start covering some of the daily, weekly, monthly challenges, or even possibly diving into some other series like BeamNG Drive or, you know, American Truck Sim again and stuff like that, let me know in the comments section down below. Now here we are, we finished first place. The whole second half was really more technical. 34.044. We were not the fastest car on the track. Now, we were fairly fast compared to a lot of other cars out there, mostly because we got some clean air. We managed to get to the front relatively quickly. But as you can see there, even at the back end of the race, Zapek, which was doing pretty darn good, was there at the end of the day and was fairly darn quick. Now, we won that. Words are hard. We got some racing valves for the Bulldog. I think we're going to take out that car here. Some of our next series, beyond this one. Really enjoy that. It is a blast. It looks really cool, especially if you can get some of the extra stuff going on for it. But ladies and gentlemen, oh man, fans of all ages, anywhere in the world of any persuasion, here we are with the big Valley Speedway. This is going to be a figure 8. This is going to be the craziest, most ridiculous thing we have seen so far. You know, we've seen adjacent, parallel potential crossovers, and now finally, we're dealing with proper crossovers. This is going to be pretty crazy, and I'm really excited to see how horrible this goes. So we're going to dive on in without any other ado. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Bada bing, bada boom. And, oh yeah, right on the inside. We're not worrying about it. This is the World Masters Series. And we're just going to kind of turn in here, and there we go. Right behind Arcblade. Again, Arcblade is a really good car. The big question is the AI driver really doing what's necessary to get the job done? I'm not necessarily convinced. Now, our biggest thing that we're going to be struggling with here with this Speed Demon is the back end really likes to kick out. And it's very difficult once you start to get the power down to keep this car from completely rotating, especially on these banked corners here. And, oh boy. Oh, and this is going to be a big problem too. Dr. Danger Noodle wrecking into us from behind. If we try to drive forward into that car, we would have gotten turned all about. Would not have gone very well. We're dealing with a lot of crossover traffic here, and this is going to be something that we have to keep in mind. There we are, spinning them out. Oh yeah, getting some extra points. Dr. Danger Noodle back there. And that's what you get, sir. Or lady, we don't know. Oh gosh, we just got sandwiched. This crossover here is going to be just absolutely crazy. Now, I need to focus a bit more on driving, just because driving and talking is a lot of hard. I'm really doing a lot of feather throttling here. Here we go, hammer down. Oh, just gunning it. Tap the brake, get the car to set. Feather the throttle. A little bit harder. Here we go. Just a little bit of steering input off throttle into the brake. Get the pivot. There we go. And, oh, Oh, not good. Not good. Tried to really mitigate a lot of that. Oh gosh, our car is oh wow. I hit the ladies and gentlemen, I hit the throttle and the car just wants to turn left. We've lost a wheel, I'm pretty sure. And the left rear quarter is gone. Is completely gone. Oh, yep, yep. Not great. Our wheel's gone. Oh boy. Oh. Well, we've won our first two races. This third one here, we got very, very unlucky in the crossover. This car just does not want to turn. Turning left up here is going to be really, really good. We're going to have to use that e-brake to really try to get this to go. But of course, if you get enough damage, your frame gets wrecked up pretty hard, and the actual geometry on your car starts to actually change a little bit, especially the way that the suspension works. And this car was tail happy before, and especially since that right front is just digging in. Let's just say it's a very, very tail happy right now. There goes Dr. Danger Noodle. Oh man, there's chaos and stuff that's everywhere. We are 14th position. We are technically doing all right, which is pretty good. And we are still, believe it or not, ladies and gents, we are still racing Arcblade for position. They are 5 seconds behind us. Yeah, there's a lot more. There's a lot more debris. We are in 12th place here. All we have to do, I think, is generally just keep ourselves as clean as we possibly can. It's gonna be harder said than done, but we're gonna see what we can do to make that work. Oh gosh, all sorts of stuff. Car into the actual stands back there, off and over the actual safer barrier or concrete barrier. Not really sure what they're calling it there. There goes Mr. Weedy. There goes Arcblade. Other than the front of that car is in relatively good condition, which is pretty amazing. I gotta be honest, it's pretty impressive. Oh, there we go. Losing a bit more health, most likely. Our car is just barely hanging on. 13th position. I would be very, very happy if we managed to finish this without a lot of catastrophic problems. And you know what? So far it's doing all right. Dan back there has got no health. He's just, if you're playing other video games, basically we would call Dan a one-touch. All you got to do is just breathe on that individual wrong, and it's not going to end up well for them at all. And wrecking assist. Oh, there we are. We're just working through this. So, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully your day is going well. Hopefully your week is about to go all right. I know these videos go up on a Monday, so hopefully, things are going to be all right, and hopefully this is helping to take your mind off of the impending week coming on up. Or if your schedule's a little bit off from this traditional Monday through Friday, hopefully your Monday goes well. There goes Dr. Danger Noodle. We still got it, spinning them around. Baby, baby, baby. I love it. But tell me what you've run into with races like this on these tri-ovals or these crossovers or these figure eights. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Have you run across these? What was the craziest shenanigans and series of races that you've run where you really shouldn't have still been running, but it was still just fantastic? Oh man, there's Mitchell there trying to get revenge from the last time we raced. Racing him a little bit rough. Really just putting the pedal down, and it's not working out well. We wrecked a car, so that's cool. Ours is not doing so good anymore. I mean, it wasn't doing very good before, but there's not much left. Pretty sure the engine is inside the car is what it feels like. If it's not, it's pretty darn close. Now, of course, there are now only 8 cars left on this race, and we are in 8th place right now. We are almost about ready to be fully lapped by the individual in front of us. That's not too surprising. So there's Mr. Weedy for the win. And again, we're pretty darn close. We're just going to try to finish this out. We're just going to try to get to where we can. If we can somehow get some positions, that'd be very, very cool. But I doubt it. Our car is on fire. There are sparks everywhere. There's a lot of bad stuff happening. It's not good. It's not good. But seriously, ladies and gents, if you've run across tracks like this where chaos has just happened and somehow you've still managed to make it through, post in the comment section down below. If you're also a YouTube creator or you've gotten videos posted up somewhere here on YouTube, let me know. Link them down below as well. I'd be very curious to go and check them out. I really enjoy a lot of the shenanigans that are available here with Wreckfest. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a really, really good opportunity to just have a lot of chaos and have a blast with friends and people that become friends over time, right? This is pretty darn cool. I think we actually beat our rival Danger Noodle, and that's good enough for me. 24.589. Definitely not the fastest lap by any stretch of the imagination, even though we definitely got one or two really good lap times in there. It just didn't work out. And you know what? That's the sort of stuff that happens. This car was not very well situated for this style of track. And you know what? That's all right. That's the brakes. That's how it works sometimes, and it works out well. Now, unless we got some really unlucky things going on, I think it still would have worked out all right. So we are still here in first place with our Speed Demon with 240 points over second place of Tiho, Mr. Weedy in third, and of course, Dr. Danger Noodle in fourth, with Lucky Man rounding out fifth place. Because of those two first place wins, we have situated ourselves very, very, very well. That being said, we are now diving into the Death Loop main circuit. This is going to be pretty crazy. Anytime you're dealing with a Death Loop track and AI, it could be relatively clean. It could be relatively crazy and chaotic. It really, really depends. There's not a lot of good middle ground here. So we're going to rev it on up. We're going to look forward. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Balloons are in the air. Codeman is up here. There's chaos already happening. Zapak is right there. And of course, Arcblade is up front. But they have not been finishing really well, even though they've got some good... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, we just got landed on. Ladies and gentlemen, our car just got crunched. That's a little painful. It's a little painful. I think we can send it. I think we're going to be all right. Here we go. We're screaming along. You always got to be careful because if you slow down too much up here in this region, you'll definitely fall to your death and take a lot of damage from gravity, as it were, falling from the top of the death loop, and it's not always a good time. Our car is crunched up pretty hard here. And there we go. We were getting more of our bonuses. We're spinning out some more cars. Tapping that e-brake and kind of getting that rear end to slide around just a little bit there. And just like that, we are in second place. And Arcblade is way out in front. You can see him up there just starting to make that loop-de-loop turn. Now, we might get lucky again as we have in the last few races. And they'll run into some traffic and be able to get our paws and our mitts on them, so to speak. But here's going to be the big thing. Can we get through this without wrecking our car? We already landed hardcore with a car on the left front, smashing up this pretty badly. But I think we're working out okay. Our car didn't take that much damage. It's mostly superficial. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, gosh, and we're getting smashed on both sides here. Ooh. Well, everything is damaged. You can see there on the bottom left, everything is yellow. Our car is... Geometry is a bit more out of whack than I expected. Yeah, the right front wheel is pushed in about a foot, and thankfully it's still working, but it's making this steering dynamic and suspension dynamic a little bit more difficult. But hey, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna see if we can't keep going. We've got our second place, third place, first place, fourth place. Hard to tell. Here we go, all the way out. Boop. There it is, second place. Arcblade is still up there in front. I think he's taking some right front damage. I think they've run into some stuff there. Oh, and they roll their car. Oh, yes. Yes, that works out well for us. Unfortunately, right behind us is Mr. Weedy, who has now become our rival for this race. They were not happy with how we have handled this, and I can't say as I blame them. We're not necessarily trying to cause problems, but, well, it sort of happens. Now, here I try to hang out to the right as much as I possibly can to get under the cars that jump and that are going pretty fast. We might not have enough speed. Go, 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 go. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. We made it, we made it, we made it. Jumping up here, we're starting to run into lap traffic. Oh, boy, that was very close. We almost got that speedy car right into our cockpit there, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes we can always go over that jump right there if we can get enough speed and the line works out well. You can jump over a lot of the incoming cars, which is nice. But just keep in mind, it doesn't always work that way. I love this view right here. Sometimes you can see some cars just completely whiffing it and falling from the top of the death loop. And that's always fantastic when that happens. Ladies and gentlemen, we have found ourselves again in first place here. We're going to get lean to that right side just a little bit more. There's some cars coming down. Oh, boy. That did not look good. Is it still clear? It is, it is, it is. Jumping up over here, and that's Dr. Danger Noodle themselves there. Oh, boy, little mini-on-mini action right there. Here we go through this, and we've managed to clear it. We're doing okay. And Dan is back there with Bubble Junk in third place. I have not seen that name just yet. That sounds hilarious. Oh, Codeman. Oh, why? Why did you do that? Oh, man, that was a hard hit. That was a very hard hit. Our car is not doing so good here. We're trying to get around here. We're still in first technically, but T3 is right behind us. And Mr. Weedy is not too far behind with a whole pack of cars with Dan as well. We're going to try to gun it, gun it, gun it. Hopefully no one comes through behind us. That's some of the worst damage when you're trying to come down out of the death loop and someone is entering up into the death loop. It's not a good time. Let's just say that. Here we go. We're running it through. We are still clear. And just like that, we are back here in the lead coming into lap number 7. Now, I'm thinking we might, again, possibly need to dial back some of the damage simply because we're running into a lot of lap traffic and we're running into a lot of cars up here that are really heavily wrecked out. And normally I think I would like to reward clean driving, but, you know, again, at the same time, I kind of want to make sure we have some individuals to race against. I think that's really, really important. I think it's a key thing to focus in on, no matter what you do. See if we can jump on top of Ken here. Oh, just a little bit there, putting him out into the outside wall. Oh, and I think we wrecked him. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's Mr. Weedy trying to catch up to us. They're a little bit far behind. All we have to do now is just really, truly kind of just get our laps in, make sure everything goes smooth, and we should be okay. I think there's probably 6, maybe 7 cars left in the race as a whole, just kind of taking a look and judging by the chaos that's out here. And I think that's all right. So there's Mr. Weedy jumping over us. We're going up here into the death loop one more time, I think, and a few more after that. Driving on down through, and it worked out all right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to keep racing. We're going to try to make this work, and we'll come back to here either when a crash happens, we come back into the action, or we get close to the finish line. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on our last lap. We're getting ready to come through the 12. The 12th time here on the speed loop-de-loop. You can see cars already stuck up there. Unfortunately for them, that's all right. We just got to get through here, and basically, I think we'll be okay. Second place is only 17 seconds behind us. You can see they're going through the loop-de-loop right now, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have won again with first place, and I think it might be worthwhile to adjust the damage stuff down. You can see there are only 5 cars finished. That's pretty crazy. Now, I know these are very destruction-happy tracks, so I get it. But it is something to be cognizant of that I do want a bit of a challenge. And, you know, I want it to be a lot of fun here for everyone as well on the channel. So that's all right. And that's going to be it for our 4th race. So you can see here in the standings, we are firmly in first place, 110 points in front of second. So what that means is we would have to finish last. Mr. Reedy would have to finish first on the next race, and they would still be 10 points behind us. Is generally how the points system works. Maybe there would be 11 points, depending on how that goes. But it's a lot of fun. I really, really like this stuff. You can see Arcblade down there having a slew of really bad finishes, even though they've been very, very fast. So thank you very much, everybody, for stopping on by. We'll check back in here for the second half of this, probably with our damage settings here from intense back down to normal. We were on realistic. We've recently gone to intense, and I think on normal, the cars are just going to survive longer. So we will see how that goes. Thank you very much for stopping on by. Again, if you like this content, please subscribe or like the videos. If you want to see me do different things or try different things or really just change anything up for what you think I would enjoy or what you would enjoy watching, let me know in the comment section down below or hit me up over at Twitter at TheChronicToast with your ideas and your theories, and I'm sure we can work something out because I like trying new things. You never know. But again, thank you much for stopping on by. It's been a blast. It's been a pleasure, and I hope the rest of your week goes well. And as always, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.